Matt Bernier for RacingPicks.com, taking a look at four selections for Saturday, July the 25th, 2023 from Saratoga Racecourse, one from the Del Mar Thoroughbred Club. They're all turf races, all four of them, and not necessarily for Southern California, but for New York. These are obviously subject to the races staying on the grass. Let's start with race number 7 up at the Spa. Non-winners of one other than a mile on the inner turf course. I like the number 6 Perjury Trap in here quite a bit. Goes out for Chad Brown. First start as a 3-year-old. First start since breaking the maiden pretty impressively, in my opinion, back in November of last year at Aqueduct. Horse had a little bit of pace to run into, so if you want to look at it and say it was a favorable situation, I'm not going to argue with you there. I thought the horse was a little bit green. You could see down the lane, kind of had his head cocked out to the grandstand, looking around a bit, but I did like that late energy that this horse showed. 5-1 on the morning line. You've got a Rad, you've got Chad. You know, there are other nice horses in here, including a horse like Proven Strategies, maybe Lonesome Fugitive for Chad, the other Chad in here. Maybe those horses alone will be a reason that you can get a decent enough price on the number 6 Perjury Trap. I don't know if you're going to get 5-1. Maybe you settle in that 7-2, 4-1 range, but he's definitely one I would at the very least consider if you're playing the late pick 5, but I'll also hopefully get him at odds that are fair as far as my opinion is concerned on the win end of things. That's race number 7 at Saratoga, the number 6 Perjury Trap. Let's move on to race number 9. This is also a non-winners of one other than, but this is for New York breds going a mile and 16th on the Mellon Turf course. I'm very intrigued with Barley One, and I understand Barley One or Barely One, however you'd like to pronounce it. This isn't going to be any kind of great price in here. The horse is 3-1 on the morning line. He was really impressive when he broke his maiden. Keep in mind, this is a horse that goes out from Mike Stidham's barn. We know Mike Stidham is as good as they get. But if we're being honest, the Belmont Park meet in the spring and the summer was a little bit lackluster as far as wins were concerned. Horses were always right there getting a piece. Couldn't quite get over the hump very often. This horse, on the other hand, did, and I thought did so very, very impressively. Won by nearly 5 lengths. And when you consider the sort of vicinity in which this one was in relation to the pace early on, Timeform US, it's a product that I use quite a bit. I like the speed figures, but I also like the pace ratings. They had the pace that day as a fast one that was a little bit more on the taxing side. So for Barley One or Barely One to be as close to the pace as he was, be able to take over pretty emphatically, and then draw off very comfortably, I think that just speaks volumes to where this horse is. And if you're a speed figure player, this horse, if we're being honest, kind of lays over the field. So maybe you don't get 3-1, maybe goes off in that 9-5 range, but I do think Barely One or Barley One, however you'd like to pronounce the horse's name, is one of, if not the most likely winner of the 9th at Saratoga on Saturday. That's the 4, Barley One. Let's move on to the nightcap. This is state-bred fillies and mares, maiden claimers, $40,000 is the claiming tag, a mile and 16th on the inner turf course. For me, it's all about the number 6 Micro Million. Goes out for Todd Pletcher. Jose Ortiz has the mount. You take a look at this horse on paper, far from a disaster. She's run pretty well. She's actually hit the board in all 4 of her lifetime starts, but they've all come on the dirt. Now she transitions over to the turf after a lengthy layoff. We haven't seen her since Valentine's Day at Aqueduct, going a mile and an 1/8. You take a look at this pedigree, maybe at face value, it doesn't seem like there's a ton of turf there, but micromanage his offspring so far. Small sample size, but 3 for 11 in turf routes. Blinkers go on for this one. Song of Love. She was 0 for 2 on turf, but she did earn an 83 Beyer speed figure. So at least makes me believe that there may be a little bit of ability, maybe some hidden turf form. It's also worth noting that Micro Million, this filly, is a sibling to a horse called Happy Fellow, who was 3 for 23 on turf. Also career best Beyer on turf of 86. So there's clearly some ability here as far as the pedigree is concerned. Then you add in the Todd Pletcher formulator fact from DRF. It's a really impressive number. These are stats. Again, you can twist them however you'd like. I always think it's valuable to have more information than less. Todd Pletcher past 5 years, first time turf, maiden special weight to maiden claiming, 6 for 16 with a 370 ROI. Those are all positive numbers. I'm going to go with the number 6 Micro Million at 6-1 in the nightcap at Saratoga on Saturday. Now, let's quickly go out to Del Mar and take a look at one of their graded stakes races. I understand Maximum Security's back in the San Diego. I don't have much interest in that race other than seeing how he runs. The 9th, though, I think is a nice little race. The San Clemente 3-year-old fillies, a mile on the turf. It's a grade 2. And of the horses in here, you can understand a case to be made for Laura's Light. You can understand a case to be made for Cheermeister. You can understand a number of these runners. The number 9, Warren Showtime for me. I think she's a little bit underrated. She's a Calbred taking on Open Company, but she's shown in the past that that is not an obstacle for her. She defeated Open Company in the China Doll that was back at the beginning of March, going a mile at Santa Anita. 2 starts back, She ran a really nice third in a field of 6 against older horses in the Franz Valentine down at Santa Anita, going a mile. I think she continues to trend the right direction. I don't want to say equally as good on dirt as she is turf. I think she is a far superior turf horse, but she has won stakes races on dirt as well. It just goes to show the quality that this Craig Lewis trainee has. She's 7-2 on the morning line. I think that's a fair number. I don't think I'd take anything less than that because this is a pretty nice group of fillies put together. But the number 9, Warren Showtime, at 3.5 to 1 for Craig Lewis. I like her quite a bit in here. She is going to be my top pick in the Grade 2 San Clemente. That's the 9th race out at Del Mar on Saturday afternoon. So a recap. Race 9 at Del Mar, I like Warren Showtime. It's the number 9 horse. Go out to Saratoga, races 7, 9, and 11. Race number 7, I like the number 6, Perjury Trap. That would be my play of the day if you are so inclined to go that route. Race number 9 at Saratoga, I like the number 4, Barley or Barely Won. And then I cap out at the Spa. Race number 11, I like the number 6, Micro Million. As always, these races, it's subject to them being kept on the grass. Keep an eye on the weather up at Saratoga. You should be all right, though, down at Del Mar. For all this and more, great offers, great picks, analysis, you name it, head on over to racingpicks.com. Good luck this weekend.